It's such a treat to race on dirt. It's such a treat to broadcast a dirt race. Frontier Truck Tour Season 1. Matthew Legatt goes. We're going to Eldora. We're going to have some fun. The pace truck is about to pull off. 24 trucks ready to do battle around the most legendary dirt track in the world. This is the Mudslinger Classic. And as the first lap is completed, we check our slider cams. Right now, Brett Murphy gets around Jacob Blakely. Currently, Jacob Blakely going backwards. Is it his plan to save tire? Did he not get a good start? He's driving that truck tight, which means he wants to save tire, but he'll lose the top spot and drop back to fourth. Ricky Mendonça will drive into that spot, He will have the third spot. That's the lap truck of Thomas Melnick, who did not get a good start in front of your leaders. Will he play a factor? Will he get out of the way? The top line is the preferred line, but that's also where it's a little comfortable right now for these guys with lesser experience. Ricky Mendonça, he now looks to the inside. On board with Matthew Legatt watching this battle. Ricky now up to the inside of Brett Murphy. He is going to look for the lead. Will it be a slider? No, he keeps it on the bottom towards the middle. They get around Thomas Melnick. At the flag stand, they're dead even. Now Brett Murphy up to the cushion. Ricky Mendonça, little slide job this time. Gets across the nose of Brett Murphy. Brett Murphy looks back up the inside. Side by side as they go into turn 3. Blakely still there. There's Matthew Legatt. Flag stand once again, almost even. Give it to Ricky Mendonça that time by. He will take that top spot. Jacob Blakely following up there on the cushion. Brett Murphy falls back to third. Here comes Matthew Legatt. He is going to try to make something happen here to the rear bumper of Brett Murphy. And this is the best we've seen Brett Murphy drive in a while in the Frontier Truck Tour. I did not think it'd come on the dirt. He is still looking for his first career win. Ladies and gentlemen, he's started every single race in Frontier. An absolute veteran in his own right. Ricky Mendonça, same story for him as well, looking for his first career win. Jacob Blakely spent some time with me in the booth the first 2 seasons, found his way to the truck full time across both series, but this is a place where he could get it done. Douglas Henry, he's moved his way to the 9th position, and as these guys get single file, roll in the top, that's where it's going to be the most comfortable. Ricky Wentworth, he's also into the 8th spot. Both of those guys up positions right now. Chase Morales working on Derek Stanley, trying to get in the top 10. We're going to go ahead and go on board with Douglas Henry. Ricky Wentworth gets into the fence, leaves the top line open, but Doug will kind of brush the fence, gets back into it. No harm, no foul. He'll get 8th over Ricky. Pete Tart 7th comfortably. Matt Vordron falls back to 6th. Aiden Gould gets into the fence, trying to cross him up. Here comes Pop-Tart Pete. He's going to work on him now. Pete Tart gets kind of pushed out of line, try to put a fender up in front of Douglas Henry. Doesn't work. Doug on the move right now, trying to get around the outside. Pete is stuck on the bottom. Down the back straightaway, Aiden Gould in the line. Doug wants to run. You can see Doug's a little bit quicker, so he's being very patient. That's going to allow Pete Tart to battle back on the inside at the moment. Aiden Gould all over Martin Verdron. He's going to look down towards the middle. Pete Tart on the bottom slides up. I think Doug's going to get a really good drive here on exit. Both trucks even down the back straightaway. Pete will now send it to the bottom. He's starting to get comfortable here. Doug puts the bumper to the tail of Aiden Gould. On board with Douglas Henry. He feels like he's stuck in some slow traffic right now. He's getting a better exit than everybody in front of him, but that top line is where everybody wants to roll. This time, Doug showing Aiden, hey, there's a higher line. You're blocking me on exit. He's going to put the bumper all the way to the 8 truck. Pete Tart still trying to battle on the inside. Now Doug will look to the middle. It's going to be 3 wide off the exit. Gould in the fence. Doug and Pete make contact. Doug will make it 3 wide middle. He can grab 3 cars in a set of corners. Unbelievable. Gets around Vordron. There's a stack up between Pete and Vordron. Masterclass driving out of Douglas Henry. 3 spots going into turn 3 out of turn 4. Ricky Mendonça staying in front of Jacob Blakely at the moment. I think Jacob Blakely's just biding his time. He's not trying to drive that hard. He has a lot better entry. But even Ricky, hear that power going down. It's a little bit too much at the moment. I think that's where Blakely's saving, but Blakely gets into the fence. On board with Blakely. Look at him, listen to him, very patient right now on that throttle. He's having a difficult time getting that car a little looser for the exit. He's plowing tight, getting up into the wall, over the cushion, into the fluff. But it is saving him tire, even though he's losing some ground. He can get it back later. Douglas Henry, he's shipping up the inside of Brett Murphy right now. Doug trying to make a pass for 4th. Just barely keeps it off the wall. Brett Murphy looks back up the inside. Now we got a battle. Doug being able to use the cushion. There's some slick on the exit. Brett Murphy really comfortable in the middle right now. Meanwhile, Matthew Leggett has caught Jacob Blakely. Jacob having some trouble. Douglas Henry gets around Brett Murphy. Matthew Leggett slide across the nose of Blakely. Will Blakely let him have it? Inside the car, Leggett, look at that wheel work. Blakely now looking up through the middle, and even Matt's a little uncomfortable on that top line. The exits have been hurting these guys. And we have a yellow flag, and it looks like it's for Ricky Whitworth. He's found the inside tire barriers. Big damage. You'll have to tow your fast qualifier for tonight. Big wreck for him. Let's take a look at the replay. Ricky Whitworth, Krispy Kreme, number 12 white truck, pounds the fence, comes off, super loose. This is going to be a big hit. I don't think you're going to sneak up the show. There's some guys that got some tires saved behind you, but we're going to get them extended now. And what's going to happen here as we get this restart lap, guys going for position. And we're going to fan out down the back straightaway. Aiden Gould underneath Brett Murphy. 3 wide. Pete Tart up top. Douglas Henry. He's going to go ahead and move into that 4th spot at the flag stand. Douglas Henry looking for 3rd. And we're really tight. 3 wide at the flag stand. Gould, Murphy, Pete. Matt Vordron in there. Gould gets in the left rear of Brett Murphy. We're going to have a stack up here on the inside. We hang on to it. Almost 4 wide. Chase Morales gets into Pete Tart. Brett Murphy going backwards. At the flag stand, Ricky Mendonça leads. Matthew Leggett, Douglas Henry, your top 3. Douglas Henry, the biggest mover so far tonight. Matthew Leggett approaching that lead. He's getting close. Ricky Mendonça still comfortable where he's at. Blakely still hangs on to 4th. Pop-Tart Pete, after all that contact, he's still in the top 5. Pounding the cushion. Ricky Mendonça is leading the charge, and it's a train. And like he said, and like his teammate Nathan Thompson was alluding to, your defend winner here in the Mudslinger Classic. The top line will slick off. It's all about when you can get back to the bottom and keep your tires underneath themselves. Jacob Blakely looked for a move on Douglas Henry. Doug puts the bumper to him. Blakely gets loose. Doug will hang on to that top spot. Blakely, will he look for a slider again? Stays middle, he'll cross up the nose. Douglas Henry looks back underneath, side by side at the flag stand. Doug now answers the slide jump of his own, gets the top line back, but gets into the fence, tries to stay out of it, still hanging on it. Blakely, unable to make a move in the slick. He has Pete Tart running him down now, and all of these guys struggling to stay off that cushion. On board with Pop-Tart Pete. He's in 5th, watching your top 4 trucks. Pete seems to be very comfortable now. We just saw Matthew Leggett tank slap the wall. Pete's even putting some brake pressure in on entry. Here comes Douglas Henry. He's going to look underneath Jacob Blakely, underneath Matthew Leggett now. Doug, slider, somehow makes it fit. That was close, but Matt's able to fit underneath him. Doug gets back up to the top line. He doesn't try to bang it. Blakely gives him a shot in the rear. And Doug had to hang on to it and save it, but hangs on to third. Here comes Pete Tart for fourth around Jacob Blakely. Pete down to the inside. Pete Tart, real-life quarter midget dirt racer out of California. No experience in big cars. He's just as green as the rest of these guys. And Ricky Mendonça still hangs on, but Matthew Legat has not let him pull away. Douglas Henry officially clears into third. Down the back straightaway, Chase Morales in the sixth spot, making the pass on Brett Murphy to complete it. He's trying to work on Jacob Blakely. Man, Raymond Wimmer almost got into them, but how about a run out of Raymond Wimmer here? He's now into the 8th spot. He's the first truck to really commit to this bottom. See how it's treating him, but he's in that throttle so much, it's got to be hurting those tires. I wouldn't go down here just yet if this is what you're going to do. On board with Douglas Henry running down Legat. He's closed the gap. Legat has had some rough exits currently, but it's kept him within range of Ricky Mendonça at the moment because Mendonça hasn't really been able to turn it up yet. Corner exit of 2, Cam. There's Mendonça. Jacob Blakely gets back around Chase Morales, and now he's trying to run down Pete Tart, but he's lost a lot of ground at the moment. And this is a beautiful race here at Eldora. Legat will finally lose ground on Douglas Henry, but, on Ricky Mendonça. Douglas Henry's yet to really close in the gap of his own at the moment. Everybody seems to be biding their time right now. Nobody's really doing anything daring within this top 5. A lot of consistent lap times at the moment. Douglas Henry. He's going to get to the nose of Matt. Matt's going to the fence. Doug will add some pressure. But so far, since that caution for Ricky Mendonça earlier in this race, these guys have kept it pretty clean. Not a lot of yellows. This time, Doug looks down to the inside as Matt goes to the left rear of Mendonça. Doug will try the bottom. How does it fare for him? It's a really clean corner. Let's check 1 and 2. Where does he size up on exit? Comes up into the slick, trying to get power down. It won't work, but if he could build some momentum, it was really solid in turns 3 and 4. Mendonça yet to leave the top line. Matt in agreement. They come up on the lap truck of Jordan Marion. How will they play around him? Jordan keeping it parked in the middle. Doug will have to go back up to the top. And these three have been perfect, dancing in unison like ice skaters at the Olympics. They are dogging it right now. Really clean. Legat with the slider. We watch it from the nose of Douglas Henry. Side by side down the back straightaway. Matt says it's time to go for me. Here they go. Ricky Mendonça answers slider of his own at the flag stand. Ricky will have it back. Into turn 1, Legat returns to the top. He went for it. He wanted a test to see what kind of strength would he have. Mendonça was able to drive back around him because you got to wait for so long to get the grip back in the rear tires. Matthew Legat up the inside, trying a different line. Douglas Henry there with him. Yellow flag comes out. I believe it's for Thomas Melnick. That's the crash report. He's already towed. Let's take a look at the replay. Thomas Melnick has been having a rough night. Where does it go wrong for him? He's all by himself. Too much on the throttle. Saves it, overcorrects into the fence. Right to the racing surface. Top 5 hasn't changed in a while. We're back underway. What's going to happen? Here we go into turns 1 and 2. Douglas Henry all the way to the bottom. He's trying to make something work. Can he get to the inside of Matthew Legat? He has Pete Tart to his outside. Hunter East is in the picture. He gets into Pete Tart. Jacob Blakely on the bottom. Doug will move back up to third. Hunter East gets spun. It's going to end with Chase Morales around, still making contact, and that'll bring out the yellow. I saw contact with Hunter East. Chase Morales got drove into. Gary Smoke was a part of it. He has damage. Let's take a look at the replay. To watch this field enter turn 3. I want you guys to look right there where it gets 3 wide. There's a battle for the 5th spot. So we got Hunter East coming down across Derek Stanley's nose. Chase Morales is going to get slammed. Aiden Gould's there. I think Gary Smoke gets into it late. He watches this happen. Where do you go? Where do you go? Gets caught by Morales. Hangs on to it. This is the rear deck cam of Chase Morales. Mendonça once again with the launch over Matthew Legat. Douglas Henry will try the bottom on entry again. Here they go into turn 1. Who has the advantage? Oh, into the fences, Mendonça. I think he's going to get turned. They're 3 wide for the lead. Nobody checking up for anybody. Douglas Henry somehow gets it at the flag stand. Who do we call? Doug hangs on. Mendonça's back. He puts Legat into the fence. Mendonça's around. We got a pile up on the front straightaway. Gary Smoke is in it, but Ricky Mendonça, the heartbreak. That started in turn 1, ended a whole lap later in turn 1 again. And he cannot be happy. Let's take a look at the replay. So Mendonça here into 3. He has Hunter East and Pete Tart is inside. Hunter actually gets the fence. So Pete Tart underneath him. Ricky's coming up. He's going to make contact with Matt. Matt gets the bumper to Doug. Comes off the fence as Ricky's coming up, gets into him. Who is going to send to? It was hectic that time by. We'll try it again. Douglas Henry, really good launch. And to turn 1, Pete Tart underneath him. Here they come around the exit. No, it's not the right camera. We'll watch it, though. As they head down the back straightaway. Douglas Henry leads over Pete Tart. Matthew Legat third. Jacob Blakely around the outside. 3 wide for third. We got a yellow. We're not sure where it's at. Hunter East, that truck was around at one point that lap. Let's look at a replay. Hunter East in the 1. Ricky into the fence in front of him, rides it all the way. Hunter comes off the corner, and him and Jordan Marion come together. Hunter had actually recollected the truck, and Marion just kind of, we'll have to wait on him. Blakely, Murphy, Legat, your top 5. Here we go into the restart zone. Pete Tart will launch, and we're back racing.
Green flag.
Pete Tart gets out front. Douglas Henry has to worry about Jacob Blakely at the moment. Blakely falls back to Brett Murphy. 4 wide just behind. Doug still hangs on to the advantage. Blakely up the inside, keeps on to Brett Murphy. Murphy into the fence. He keeps it straight. Douglas Henry now with the run. Blakely third. Murphy nearly riding the wall there. Raymond Wimmer, Matthew Legat, it's a bottleneck behind them. And we get another yellow flag. And I'm not sure where it happened. We got Chase Morales, slow truck. He was top 10, top 5 at one point tonight. What happens? Oh, Ronnie Lane, Hunter East get together. Nowhere for Chase Morales to go. Again, we'll get the launch. Douglas Henry to his outside. We're back racing here at Eldora.
Green flag, green flag.
Sideways action. We got some contact. Here they go into turn 1. Pete in the slick. Doug up against the fence. Brett Murphy looks low. And Doug will put it up along the cushion. How do they fare on exit? Pete Tart leads. Douglas Henry side by side with Brett Murphy. Aiden Gould, he's into the picture. He's trying to get into that top 3. Brett Murphy keeping it middle. Yellow flag comes out once again. And it looks like Hunter East has once again brought out the yellow. Not a great night for him. Let's take a look at the replay. Oh my gosh, getting full-on dumped by Spencer Burton. I mean, Spencer didn't even try to lay off of him. That's on Spencer there. Hunter was there. He had cleared him, and Spencer just dumps the guy as if he hasn't been through enough tonight. Pete Tart once again in command. Really good launches. This time it's better. Doug is under pressure. Douglas Henry has to worry about Brett Murphy and Matthew Leggett. Brett Murphy slider across the nose of Douglas Henry. Doug, can he cross over? Nobody gets to the top. What will Brett Murphy do? Leggett will put Doug into the fence. They're leaning on each other. Doug keeps it off the fence. 4 wide down the front stretch. Oh, that was tight. And we got Jacob Blakely up into the fence. Matthew Leggett is there. Ronnie Lane involved. Matt Ford drawn. They're still piling it up. That was insane. They were 4 wide. Mandon's all the way on the bottom. Leggett, Blakely, and Doug. That was close. Let's look at the replay. Oh, so you can see Matt just sent it in on Douglas Henry there. We're nearly 5 wide. And as we get to the front straightaway, Doug and Madeline on each other. Mendonça up. Mendonça, probably not aware there's 4 trucks above him. How does Doug get by that? And look at this. The restart zone. Pete gets a good launch. We're back at it. Brett Murphy puts it up into the slick. Can he have something for the 54? Here comes Aiden Gould up the inside. Ricky Mendonça charging her on the top line. Here comes Mendonça from the tail end of the field after getting wrecked and now up to the outside battling for third. Can he get it over Aiden Gould? Brett Murphy even with him. Contact. Brett Murphy, Gould. Here comes Douglas Henry. He sent it up the inside. These guys are dogging. We got a spin in the back. Raymond Wimmer's around. And he'll bring out the yellow. And it's just so tight, the racing. Oh, my. We'll grab a replay. Hunter East coming up. Raymond comes down into Derek Stanley, but Hunter East gets to the left rear of Raymond. That's where it's going to start. Kyle Ellis. I mean, nowhere for him to go. Gary Smoke clipped by Hunter East. Into the restart zone. Pete Tart once again will have the commands. Brett Murphy second. Aiden Gould third. We're back at it. Here we go, into the corner. Ricky Mendonça in the middle. Aiden Gould underneath. Doug puts the bumper to Gould. It puts Gould out of line. On board with Matthew Leggett. Gould coming back up. I think he's going to use Doug up just a little bit at the flag stand. Everybody is just so close. Ladies and gentlemen, white flag. 1 more lap to go. Can anybody get to Pop-Tart Pete? Pete Tart all by his lonesome. 4 wide behind. Ladies and gentlemen, the Mudslinger Classic will finally be Pete Tart's. Pete Tart wins at Eldora.
Let's go.
Go win, Pete.
Oh my god.
Go win, Pete.
Let's go.
Get fucked, Hunter.
Oh, baby. Well, that was a lot. There's a lot of guys in that call. Pete Tart gets the win. They were wrecking at the line. I want to find a replay of that. This is them coming to the checkered. Pete Tart will have it. You can see Mendonça up on the fence. Brett Murphy third. I mean, What happens here? 4 wide for 4th. Legat, Henry, Gould. That goes Legat, Gould, Henry, then Stanley. We got trucks backwards. Everybody dirt tracking it, getting everything they can on the final lap. Oh my gosh, that was insane. Everybody putting around for that. That was awesome. Watch this crowd reaction here, guys. Getting trucks wrecking right at the end for fun. Wow. When we look back to Pop Tart Pete, he gets the win here at Eldora. Pete Tart is finally a crown jewel winner in the Frontier Truck Tour, the Mudslinger Classic.
Oh my, let's go. Oh, that was an insane race. Oh my gosh, the track was destroyed. Oh my gosh, that was insane. I can't believe it.
Pete getting the win after all that carnage. When you got to the lead, were you thinking that, all right, when is it my turn to get shipped?
Yeah, I was. I couldn't wait to be fed a right rear, just going straight up the track. But I don't know. I was making that middle roll, and everyone was. There was definitely momentum on the top, but I think it was too much tires, like spinning tires. They couldn't get the power down, and we got it done.
Pete Tart on stage here at Eldora. Congratulations, buddy.